Neo San Francisco, 2064 AD. The world thrives on a constant flow of groundbreaking technology. Cybernetic augmentation and genetic modification allow the repair and enhancement of almost any part of a human body. Millions of people jack into virtual worlds every day to work, play, and connect with one another with advanced brain-to-machine technology. Easier access to genetic modification leaves hybrids walking the streets, looking less human every day. However, some can't keep up with the fast-paced changes around them. They say that ROMs, now commonplace thanks to Parallax, are leading humans to a place where we can never come back, losing the survival skills that we have relied on for millennia. Relationship organizational managers are compiled with virtual intelligence and can seem human-like in their interactions. But despite the marketing hype, at their core, they are only brainless machines. Organizations, like the human revolution, seek to slow the relentless pace of progress, fearing that unchecked technology will make us lose the very things that make us human. High above the rising tension below, a Parallax engineer has blurred the line even further. And with this, humanity's destiny will be altered.
Ready to head out? Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering. I see we've arrived at the Melody Flora's residence. It's quite impressive. But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company. I wonder how she and Hayden first began working together. Sorry, back on task. Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside? He did, and I can't shine much light on that. I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the direct link virtual reality implants, so perhaps it happened during that time. Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies. I'll scrape the mesh for more rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors. I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real. Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella. It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies. They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system .
Sorry about that.
The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military, developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces. This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law. Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on. She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants. The company is largely successful on a global scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
What can you tell me about Melody?
Not a whole lot. She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's penchant for courting a media circus. Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to the point of absolute viciousness in the boardroom. But it's been a long time since her days of fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm. There's talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but... well, I take that with a grain of salt. She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter. Stay on your toes.
Let's go ahead and head in.
No time like the present, then.
Is that a bear soaring?
It appears so. Your guess is as good as mine. Mine says we can go in.
What's done no harm?
Oh, wow! Swanky!
Swanky?
What? I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms. Is swanky too out of date?
It's certainly before my time.
Oh, Ms. Flores! Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and...
Oh, I know who you are.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Fairlight? I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case. Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet. This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Not really.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
Right.
Recorded all attempts at a conversation. So, grr and stuff. Pat is Melody's butler, not yours. He will offer service when and only when his mistress permits. Alright. Melody! You want an umbrella?
Do you think something as banal as rainfall is ever a concern for someone like me?
Maybe, if you need to get out. Oh wait, you have your polar bear. Never mind.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
Do it. Okay.
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
What?
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody, any information you might have.
I'm not even going to say it.
We haven't had access to any of his research notes, and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with.
Probably.
Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course. We had been catching up recently. and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people. When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I'm not... Actually, yeah, I am a total stranger.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup. Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt?
Huh?
We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
Huh?
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
How did you help Hayden with Turing?
Indeed. I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapience. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth. Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Ooh.
You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Probably.
Oh, I didn't realize.
How would Turing's development help with digitizing the human mind?
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades. Functional immortality is a powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling, and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Interesting. Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped.
Pretty much.
You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
I'd like to ask something else.
Sure.
What's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years.
Hi. Alright.
I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1. Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally. I turned him down. Very politely, I might add. And then, suddenly, all of the cooperation between our companies dried up.
2064 read-only memories. It's like a... sort of like a... I would say point-and-click adventure game, but it's not. No, it's something.
We've been at it back and forth ever since.
Just what?
I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you.
Voice lines.
He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still,
Chapter
I suppose
4
if he tried again now,
out of 6,
I might
believe.
not turn him down.
So...
It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
Alrighty then. I think that's everything we need to know.
Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Alright, you have fun
Thank
now.
you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it. I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I think might be of help to you. Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh.
I'd rather not kill anyone else today. Do we really have to go to Vincent?
I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere.
Come on.
He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
Cards? This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
Just go with it.
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish us luck.
Grooming is also a melody-only activity. Might get weird if some random person started getting up in his fur. Does a bear... you know what? You know, never mind. Yeah. Pat, what are the burdens you bear? I love this. Pat, what is the meaning of life? Woof? So, grr and stuff. I love that. Alright. Alright, so I think I can... Woof! Woof? To a bear, I might add. To a polar bear. Oh, alright. Hospital. Could go to... Come on. Alright, that's the station. Hello? Hey, guy.
Can I help you?
Oh, you could
I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Who are you waiting on?
Are you Vincent Mensa? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
Oh, good. You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
There must be some miscommunication. Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Parallax.
Okay.
He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
He has not gone missing.
Damn that old woman.
Alright, whatever.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need.
What was the thing you asked for?
I already know Hayden is missing.
Ah.
Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city. Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
Insulting, but accurate.
Look, I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help. Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know he's okay. But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free. I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
Well. Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca.
I don't know how to get those credits.
If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Parallax, my company's security credentials, whatever.
Deal.
If you're really sure journals can come up with that kind of stuff in one day.
We might be able to do that.
Might?
Do you mind answering some other questions first?
Dear God, I'm doomed.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation, the sooner we can fulfill your request.
Sure, as long as it isn't the juicy stuff.
Why are you so adamant about getting out of Neo SF?
Because Parallax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw. There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide. Since the launch of the MeshNet, We've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company.
Yep, that's a big straw.
The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless,
It's
and
bigger than
more
big.
concerned with profits and power than ever before. Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay.
Alright. So I'm getting... What do you do for Parallax?
I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get. We've worked pretty closely for years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best.
No.
But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Do you know anything about Hayden's disappearance?
Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers.
Maybe.
Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more.
Thank you. We'll go get those things for you.
Sure. I guess I can stick around here for a while. I need to make some calls anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway.
Alright.
See you soon.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable card. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment.
Yes.
I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot. We don't know where they are, though, so for now we should focus on getting the money for Mr. Mensa. Maybe Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital. We could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
You do not want Fairlight. You don't want Fairlight to be... Father Mansion. Hey, Pat.
Hello, Pat. Could we see Melody? I guess that means yes?
Try again when you have a trust fund or hold a majority of Fortune 500 company.
Turing, I'm not saying I don't like seeing your little pixelated face. You're certainly better company than most of the humans I have to deal with. But I am a busy woman, you know? Lots to do. Right, Pat? Traitor. Anyway, maybe we should space these little visits out a good bit further, hmm? Familiarity breeds contempt, after all. And I'm very good at contempt.
I apologize, Aunt Melody. You've stated before that you like your peace and quiet, but we need your assistance.
Oh, we're running with the aunt thing, are we? Another woman would tell you not to butter her up, but oh, flattery will get you everywhere with me. All right. What do you need?
Vincent needs help getting out of the city.
I can only imagine. If he's willing to turn coat on Parallax, I bet he feels like a mouse in a cat farm. I know they don't actually farm cats, Pat. It was a metaphor. Whatever. It was a simile then. I am not going to play semantics with you. Moving on. Tell me what the trouble is, and I'll try to conjure up a solution.
We're going to need to pay for the information.
Yes, Mr. Mensa says he needs 100,000 credits before he's willing to speak openly. He also said that you already promised it to him, and that he won't be able to get out of the city without it. He'll give us the information once we have that, plus a few other things I'm certain we can get on our own.
What? You can't even scrape together that kind of money?
No.
Your friend's not much of a journalist, eh, Turing?
According to the statistics that I have found, It is unlikely that a journalist of any caliber less than the best would have that amount of liquid assets on hand.
Well, probably. Sorry.
The pay for the profession just isn't that high, Aunt Melody.
Oh, I see. I guess it's one of those jobs people do because they get free review merchandise, eh?
Could always sell ninja assassin androids instead. I'm right here.
I can get you the money, Turing. But only because you're family. Just give Pat a few minutes to gather it. Yeah, just keep moving, you big brute. While we wait, is there anything else you want to grill me over? Might as well save us both another visit.
How smart is Pat, really?
Smarter than I give him credit for, that's for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world to measure, you know? He doesn't process language in the same way humans do, and even if he can understand me, my translation program just guesses at what he says most of the time.
Oh, you have a translator running from your neural implant.
Ah, yes, I'm cheating. Though, honestly, even without it, I have a pretty good idea of what he means most of the time. We've been together for a while now. Considering it only really works on large, typically predatory mammals, we don't have a lot of test subjects. It's a minefield of ethical concerns beyond just being prohibitively expensive. So Pat is a bear apart. At least until we can figure out how to apply the modified neural pathways without frying the brains of 90% of the subjects. The tech we developed is good. It just has a damned high mortality rate. Maybe one day there will be a bunch of talking tigers and dolphins building cities in the sea, but for now, we're stuck with creating beasts out of our own species.
Maybe Turing has something to ask?
I do. It's a little personal, though. I'd understand if you didn't feel like answering.
Just shoot, Turing. I can take it.
Long ago, you lost your mother. I was wondering, how did you deal with it? Hayden's only been gone for a few days, and I already feel like my circuits are going to lock up for good.
Oh, Turing, I'm not the right person to ask. I hated my mother. She's everything I thought wrong in the world, and when she was gone, I felt nothing but relief that I could start undoing the damage she did. Never mind the fact I had to watch her waste away from the cancer. Death was a blessing for us both. Besides, you'll find Hayden soon. Keep your chin up.
Oh. Blast it! Enough with this subterfuge! We already know Hayden was killed.
Oh, no.
I won't be getting him back.
I'm sorry, Turing. I still don't know what to tell you. I've lost people, but never anyone close enough to wound me. I don't know that I've ever had anyone close enough to do that. If you feel like talking about it, I'm willing to listen. Or make Pat do it anyway.
Thank you. I don't know.
Stick it out. Time heals all wounds. Or so they say. This too shall pass.
It's a little sad that you're all alone except for the bear.
Being alone is easier, and Pat isn't such bad company. I mean, what do you want me to do? Cry about never having a husband, a few kids, and a white picket fence? I had a company to run, and my mother's legacy to fix. What's to say some spawn of mine wouldn't do the exact same thing to my flower, just the other way around? This branch of the Flores line will do well without any more knives being inserted in backs. Thank you very much.
You have that much enmity for your mother?
Have you seen what she did to North Korea? It's a wasteland of death and destruction. If we had kept going down the path she charted, the whole world would be like that.
The information on the mesh does seem to paint a grim picture.
Grim barely scratches the surface. I've been there. At least under the Kims it was barely functional. Now, my mother's monsters have ripped every last resemblance of humanity from the land. They stalk the night like horrific creatures of legend, keeping the populace in line through constant fear. A horror story straight out of the pages of Bram Stoker. That's her legacy. So I can't imagine I'd be a very good mother, just from the example I have to work with. That's life. I don't have any more regrets than anyone else my age does. My legacy will speak for itself, as my mother's did.
Short on time.
Oh, just in time then. Take the cash and get moving. I can finally get back to whatever it was I was doing before you burst in here.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Your help has been invaluable to us.
Yes, brown nose later. You've got things to do too.
Strawberries?
I did not think I would feel such a strong resonance with Melody. We're connected by the barest of threads, but she is already important to me. Is that strange?
No, I don't think so. You're Or Stranger Things.
I guess there's nothing to do but run with it. Some gifts are too valuable to look at too closely, lest they vanish into thin air, and I already have a penchant for overanalyzing things. Let's get moving. We still have things to do before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa. Detective Rivers, to what do we owe the pleasure?
I managed to hunt down those twerps that roughed up Hayden's place. Got this back for you.
Oh. Ooh.
I dragged them in, but without that thing, I'm only going to be able to nail them on the vandalism charges, not the theft.
Does this mean the police will finally let you move on with the real case?
Nope. They're going hard after whoever took out our bot yesterday, and the place got tagged way before the assault.
Those kids must have come in right after we left to meet Tomcat. They work fast.
They made it out before the police ROM ever showed up, so the brass doesn't really care about them. I hope this computer chip thingy was worth the trouble. I've got them rotting and processing right now. Figured I'd let them stew while I drop this off. Could do wonders for their attitudes. Especially the tall one. Mouthy punk. The worst part is that they dress really nice for how annoying they are.
Thanks, Lexi. Thanks, Lexi. I appreciate the help.
Indeed. Is that the only reason you tracked us down, Detective Rivers? I would have thought you'd call us in for handing off the data cache.
I wanted to check in with you away from the prying eyes of my corporate masters. It wasn't too hard to track you down here. Only took a slight abuse of power to follow your credit transactions in the AutoCab system.
It took you long enough. We're losing our trail here. You able to find something out?
Not much. Listen, I've hit a dead end on the investigation again, and I could really use another lead from the two of you. I had been busy hunting down I'm not sure if I want to call him a soldier of fortune or an assassin for hire. Either way, I tracked this guy down to see if he might have been hired by Parallax to snatch Hayden, but he's got an ironclad alibi for the relevant period of time. That leaves me with nothing. Nada. Jack diddly shit. Do the two of you have anything to give me? Otherwise, I'm back to hunting down the froyo-hating robot ghost in the park. At least my superiors would be ecstatic, considering how much they keep riding my ass about it.
We're on thin leads ourselves, Detective Rivers. We have a meeting with someone from inside Parallax who might be able to give us answers, but he's unlikely to want to talk to the police. I just wish this... Never mind.
Buck up, Turing. I wish this was easier too. But with detective work, sometimes it's not about being clever. It's just about being more dogged and relentless than whoever you're chasing. You two are my new deputies, right? So keep your nose to the ground and keep digging. I still have a few contacts I can hit up to try finding out a little more. You let me know if there's anything else I need to be going after.
Yeah. Thanks, Lexi.
Yeah, sure. Just get going. Don't forget, if you die, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Okay then, we only have a single lead. If Parallax really is as shady as Vincent seems to suspect, it could end up very interesting. Let's see if we can put an end to this. Finally. Oh, Tomcat said that we should drop the data cache off with Majid at Stardust when we get a chance. They'll need to decrypt it to see if there's anything useful left inside. no security right now?
Hey, friends. What can we get for you?
Tomcat asked me to drop this off with you.
Oh, right. Tomcat asked me to take that off your hands and pass it on to them later. Thanks for getting it to me. I won't pester you about what it is. I know things are always very hush-hush with Tomcat. I'll make sure they get it later today.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, hey there. Do you need something?
Later, you two.
Bye-bye.
I didn't expect you to show up here.
Yep.
I was just about to wrap up booking these two, now that they've had a little time to sit underneath the weight of their shenanigans.
Who the hell is this chump?
The Rom is owned by the guy whose place you trashed. They're both helping clean up your mess.
Huh! We didn't do nothing that bad! This is bullshit! Oh, my dad's gonna kill me!
Yeah, well, you should have thought of that before you decided to take your street art to the wrong street. A little community service never hurt anyone. It'll be a learning experience.
And we would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for... Chad, shut up! Don't call me that, Ollie! I told you I'm Starfucker now! So what's the point of watching all those ancient cartoons with you if I can't use the joke?
Don't dig us any deeper! We're in enough trouble as it is.
They say it in every episode!
We're not on a television show, jerk! We were arrested! By real cops!
What? You think they haven't seen the show?
Why do you always think everything is a damn joke, asshole?
Oh, now look who's swearing! Goody two.
Ahem. Boys, if we're done arguing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, whatever.
So, what brings you to my lair?
Mind bending the rules a bit? Those two might be able to help.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me just toss all this paperwork in the trash and break procedure on your whim.
Really?
No.
I don't want to help these two jerks anyway. They think they're so bad, sticking their tough cop buddy on us for no good reason. I ain't got time for this.
So you'd rather do the community service? And have her call your dad?
No. We're totally glad to help. Couldn't be happier. Just don't call my dad.
Shut up. Just shut up.
We really could use their assistance, Detective Rivers. It's my apartment in a way. Isn't it up to me to decide whether I press charges?
Not even remotely. But fine, take 'em. I can't handle being within earshot of the blue one any longer.
Aw, I thought we were really making a connection, Detective.
Sorry about Chad, ma'am. He doesn't mean harm. We're very grateful. We both need to check in with our families first, so we'll meet the two of you back on Market Street, if that's okay.
Of course. We'll meet you there, Oliver.
What a waste of my time.
Sorry, again, Lexi. I'll make sure they're used for the case.
Don't worry. It's a hassle, but you know what we say. Gold in peace, iron in war. Back to the grind again. Stay safe, deputies.
Aha! Taken to our cause like a fish to water, eh?
Even if you disagree with his politics.
Welcome back! Care to take another pamphlet or two?
Why are you out here all alone?
Ah, the cold weather has made organising demonstrations a bit difficult, to say the least. But I refuse to relent in our mission. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, I will not rest until I stop these abominations from undoing God's almighty work.
Won't shutting down clinics like this cost lives?
That's a leading question. Of course, some people have life-threatening afflictions, and it's a good thing that science has evolved to treat all kinds of diseases. Simply wanting cat ears and furry tails does not constitute a disease. A disease of the mind, perhaps. If the government strictly limits genetic alteration surgeries to only life-threatening emergencies, well, there would be a start towards undoing the damage. We are not God. We were made in his image, and his image did not include fur.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Great! Do tell me when you get the article out. I love to read the comments.
Yeah,
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but doesn't most of the MeshNet speak critically of your organization?
Oh, that's cute. The robot wants to join in the discussion now. Yes, this is true. Though historically, most revolutionaries are unpopular when they're in the middle of the fight. I sleep comfortably knowing that history will be on my side.
I'm not gonna lie, you haven't really convinced me.
Ah, I suppose I have come to expect that. Never mind. Write what you wish. When the city falls, and we have an earthworm as mayor, remember that all of you thought we were loonies.
Thanks for the interview. I'll let you know if I need anything else.
Oh, please do. Have a lovely day now. And remember, God designed you perfectly just the way you are.
Hey!
Hey.
I told you jerks not to break my ROM. Now I can't get it to stop snowing. Those protesters are gone, but I'm still not gonna have any customers with it freezing like this.
This Hessy hot cup is the perfect thing to warm me up.
Snow out of nowhere? I guess I'll wait it out in here.
Wow, look at it out there. So magical.
don't think I've forgiven you, you dingus. I better go get some Hassy hot cups going.
Well, all's well that ends well, right? I'll check the mesh for common issues with the mode selector on the 6703 ROM unit and forward the solutions to the Hassy bar owner. I'm certain she'll be able to get it turned off after the customer rush.
The Hassy ROM will help you get your Hassy fix.
Howdy! You can call me Cactus Canary.
Oh, I don't wanna.
I usually hang out at Stardust, but they don't serve food. So I come here for Hassy hot cups during the day.
Hey there. I go by Night Witch.
Yeah, whatever.
Beyond my personal issues with them, the human revolution piss off my customers when they come around.
Don't bug it. It already seems to be in a stormy mood.
He just hates, no?
Let's not. Two's company, three's a cloud.
Is there something I can help you with? Kinda busy.
No time to rest anymore, sleepyhead. We have our mission. Let's get to it. Full steam ahead.
Please don't touch the Hassy ROM.
Oh, there they are.
The two of you are like a fuzzed sync wave, even if you got us off the hook for that apartment job.
We appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Let's just get this over with. Writing this out is freaking exhausting. Then we'll be all squared up. For good.
Right. What do you need us to do?
We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your age bracket are likely to have experience with.
Oh! So this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the ropes.
No.
So, what's the thread? B&E? War driving? Copyright infringement? Search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
It's against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California.
We need to buy some fake IDs today, if possible.
Oh, that's nothing. If you can pay. Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
It's more complicated than that. We need falsified passports that can get 2 people past the border safely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that. Can you?
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already have.
What about that guy who got at least that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
That's not really the same thing, Chad. But it wouldn't hurt to give him a call. Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger. I'll have to play middleman.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant documents and photos.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. Ollie gets to show off all his cool connections. You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo. Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that will suit your skill set. Let's just get the passports first, if you can stay calm for that long.
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever owned. What's the deal? You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about yet? Well, they're top notch. Very bleeding edge.
I don't run traditional ROM VI personality software. I am, in fact, the first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know about.
Which means what exactly? In English?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops. And yes, what he said.
Well, that's awesome. You ain't so bad. For a tin can.
Tin can? Really? I'm composed almost entirely out of plasteel and silica. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century? ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name calling, too.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh, BitBrain!
Don't hurt yourself, Chad.
I'll get back to you, Bubblehead.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... 1 signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
Alright.
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas. Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
I'm not sure. Probably nearby. I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it.
Hmm. Ooh. I'm looking for anything serious right now.
Do you think it would be okay to take that?
Yeah, why not? Might come in handy for something.
If you break that glass top, I have no idea what could happen. Our mission is difficult enough without having to worry about weather.
Oh, there it is! I knew I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here.
Yep.
I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we can talk to her.
We could just do a smash and grab. Simple and effective.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Besides, you are pretty distinctive in appearance.
This is the most boring felony I've ever been an accessory to.
Look, we'll just stand in line.
Like a bunch of clumps? Chumps? What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread it around, Chad. For either of us, the less you know, the less reason anyone has to bother you.
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to juvie not knowing what for. Spill the beans, or I'll spill them for you.
Your persistence is already legendary, Chad. Fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my creator. His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him? Oh, that's so messed up.
Well, Dad after a fashion. He raised me.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I still have my dad, but he's...
Chad?
He's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic. And I thought I could find a way to make him... Whatever. I might as well nuke that drive. It ain't gonna sink.
I think I understand what you mean, Chad.
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same shit to deal with. Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark.
From the mouth of babes.
Hey, won't fault you on good taste, but watch that whole babe thing. I'm taken, and I don't need no game being spit my way.
That's not... Never mind. Whoop, the line has finally cleared up. Let's go talk to Ramona.
Yeah.
Hey, Ollie. Oh, you have such a cute Rom with you.
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way! Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits.
This is literally a matter of life and death, Ramona.
How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's one of a kind, and I'm not giving it up.
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation, and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino herself want no part in it. I don't even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap? I'll have you know that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more. Takeko passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
Urgh!
He doesn't get it. He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
We can get you another. It'll only take a few days.
It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Perhaps there's something else that would make a suitable trade?
You aren't hearing me, are you? It has sentimental value. You Look, You'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time. This lead will dry up by then.
Keep me out of this.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
You can't be serious, Ollie! You have that thing framed on your wall! And you wouldn't shut up about it for a week after you got it!
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think about Turing. I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up. Do you have something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then. Maybe you can find me another one, too. Go ahead and take the poster.
Thank you, Ramona.
Yes! I can't tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
Sure. And, you think I could see that cell sometime, Ollie?
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool!
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking about?
I know flirting when I see it, and I'm saying I don't like it. Not one bit.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad. Neither of us are interested in the other.
Sure.
Well, we have the poster now. What's next?
Turing? He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the subject.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment with us.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional-like. You know Stardust?
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Megaphobator arcade cabinet, and get out. Come back 10 minutes later, and your stuff will be behind the machine.
I understand.
Good. I'll be waiting.
Well, that was very mysterious.
Yeah, that's how this guy is. I don't even know his name, and I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over with. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah. Don't want to get her IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set. Even if it is like 1,000,000 years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building on fire while we're gone.
Oh, look. It's my favorite human and the mechanical sidekick. I'm caught up in something at the moment. Chances are we'll cross paths again.
Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss over a poster. I just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my important possessions on my data drive. I had not considered aesthetics. Though the art is competent, I'm not sure it is to my taste. But there is no accounting for such things. I hope that whoever gets it enjoys it. But that's enough navel-gazing. Let's head back outside so our benefactor can make the trade.
Y'all do the deal?
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet. Now we just need to wait for the switch.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. It shouldn't take long. I wonder how he knows the drop happened, and gets to it so fast.
Don't matter. This guy's a solid feed, even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information, but what's the full story?
Without going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo-SF unnoticed. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose the two of you could help with that?
No way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool a hand scanner.
Chad's right.
Of course I'm right.
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network. You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
I don't want to mess with boosting cars anyway. The junks run that racket in Neo-SF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you either way. You've both done us a huge favor. Call it even for the apartment.
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings. You give us a call if you need anything else, long as it'll help you find your pops.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get derezzed.
See ya!
Goodbye! Let's finish the trade inside. Here the passports are, just as advertised. Now we need to find a car. Jess is right over there. Perhaps she may know someone who can lend a hand. Well, prepare yourself. If Jess is the worst thing we have to face down this week, I'll consider us lucky.
Did you find your guy? Or wait, let me guess. There's something else you need from me. Well, you haven't been terrible to deal with so far, so I'm willing to hear you out. Barely.
We need access to an untraceable car. An informant of ours needs to get out of the city without attracting the attention of Parallax, and is offering valuable information to us in exchange.
Seriously? Jesus, what kind of shit is in your life anyway? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to be legally liable. I'm not sure why you think just because I defend a few folks in the rougher parts of the city that I would have that kind of connection. And even if one of my clients did run a carjacking business, it's not like society is clamoring to give hybrids legal jobs. Regardless, I'm not going to be an accessory to a felony, or let one of my clients be either. I won't go down that path. I wouldn't know where to start anyway.
I know we're reaching, but this is important.
You just don't quit, do you? Okay, let me think. This might be a long shot, but you could try asking Majid. There are rumors he may have been involved in some shady stuff way back in the day. He'll probably be reluctant to talk about it, but there's a free lead for you. Get me another drink in exchange, will ya? Later.
Huh. That went better than expected. I wonder if my charm is starting to pay off for us. Oh, you performed admirably as well. Onward we go.
Hey, friends. What can we get for you?
We were hoping you could give us a little information.
Sure, but first, let's get you a drink. What'll it be? Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't know what it is. He's better with the weird kind of stuff people ask for these days. Some of these cocktails make me need a spa day.
Ooh.
This one is...
Does that sound good? Here you go. So, what did you need help with?
We've run into a roadblock in our search for Hayden.
Word on the street is that he's gone missing, which I'm sure you already know. What can I do?
Yes. An informant of ours needs secure transportation out of the city, but we don't have any contacts who would be able to get us an untraceable car. Jess mentioned that you used to engage in certain extra-legal activities. Perhaps you could point us towards someone who could help?
He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Sorry, friends. I left that life behind a long time ago. Don't really keep in touch with that crew anymore.
Ah, of course. Completely understandable. Sorry to bother you then.
Well, no harm in asking, right? My reputation precedes me.
Don't let it go to your head.
Gus, I need to go to the back and gather up stuff to restock for the rush later on. Mind manning the bar for me?
Take your time. I think I can keep things under control.
Thanks. Love you, hun.
Well, that leaves us at a dead end. Any ideas on how we should proceed? Some nose-to-the-ground journalist techniques for finding leads? No. Tomcat has already stuck their neck out for us too often. I feel a little bad about how much... And besides, this is a considerably more felonious action. Morally, we should be dirtying our own hands. That might be our only option. Though, last time we had to have Jess vouch for us so we wouldn't get sold for parts. Well, I'd get sold for parts. I don't know about you. Can you even use human parts for anything? Regardless, we might have to chance it. I hope you can ask around without drawing too much attention to us.
Oh, come on. Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But, here.
What is this, Gus?
It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner with a few less than standard upgrades. When you circumvent its security codes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. That's the gist of it, but we don't have time to get into any specifics. You need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around, to turn my life around. I really respect that about him, and it's part of why I fell in love with him. He did what I was never able to. That's how we met, you know? That old rough-and-tumble life we both led. But when Stardust struggled and needed money fast, I had to get back in the game to keep us afloat for a few years. I told him it was all angel loans, donations from patrons, lots of things. He'd be heartbroken if he found out I'm still in the game. I had to do whatever I could to keep our new life, even if only one of us is really living it. I may as well give this thing to someone who wants to use it for good, too.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, Gus. We might finally be on our way to solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me, okay? Just get out of here and get on with your little Grand Theft Auto. And let me know how it goes, okay?
Of course. Well, now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquialism goes. I'm searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this device as we speak. Let's go look for some likely candidates. I should be ready by then. Oh, rats! This car has the wrong firmware installed. We won't be able to install our new firmware over top of it. We'll have to check another car. Oh no! How did the alarm get set off? Did I do something wrong? Let's get out of here before someone contacts the authorities. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. There are some other options here I can fool around with. Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future date. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensa to get away. Now we aren't really stealing the car. More like borrowing without asking. Me too. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him. There, everything should be set up now. Mr. Mensa is waiting for us at Golden Gate Park. We have everything he requested, so we should head back there directly.
Hey, did you manage to get everything?
We did. Here you go, Vincent.
Everything seems to be in order. Here. This disk has all of Hayden's research notes, data collation algorithms, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon, until she added an amendment while you were out. Frankly, it's no skin off my back. Here. It's my Parallax employee badge. It should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed. You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time leaving, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. There's no way Hayden's clearance still works. And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of this country. The credit should tide me over until the heat dies down and I liquefy my shares through some relays. I suppose I owe you that much. Buckle up. This could get heavy. Parallax is about to launch a new service they're calling Big Blue. At least, that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys will come up with for the public. They're not even announcing the launch. This shit is dead quiet. Let me explain why. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. They didn't pull Hayden into the project. He's smart, but he's immune to corporate politics. As a result, Big Blue is far less elegant than anything Hayden would make. It lacks his artistry, and it's downright terrifying. It squats on the mesh like a spider and uses the spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing. It doesn't have much personality, but it's very smart. Big Blue is going to be embedded directly into the network and then self-modify to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Look, if you access every ROM, then you have access to every human and every bit of their own personal data associated with them. Hey, no problem. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. We haven't talked much, but I do believe you can find Hayden. I hope his research notes help you out. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. Oh, slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's previous experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that.
Well, honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive that gender as a human concept can be applied identically to machine, but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I will continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. Until then, feel free to go with what you feel. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate. Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue?
Oh my god. I'm listening to a machine postulate on how it wants to be referred to, like us. What have you done indeed, Hayden? Good luck to both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Mensa. I need a few minutes. I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know Hayden better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, I'm finding that I like him less and less. For example, remember the earlier prototype Dr. Fairlight and Vincent mentioned? Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to use. Too likable? She was kind and bright, and did all she could to try to make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl, and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him. That even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong. Dead wrong, in fact. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I can see that she was just... nice. I wish I could have met her. I think we would have learned from each other. Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he once they meet me just for convenience, but it doesn't really matter to me at all. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden, not clinging to normativity? Or is it a product of his effort to curb any nascent similarities I had with Grace during my upbringing? I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant, playing God in the crudest of ways. You can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that. Even so, for all of that, I don't know. I still miss him. This all seems so inane, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch? That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such an insignificant reason. I just want him back. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything. I'm aware of the Kubler-Ross model of grief. I think I'm somewhere between anger and bargaining. A testament to Hayden's craftsmanship. Thank you for your words. You're a better friend than I could have asked for. I'll send this new data along to Tomcat. Let's head back to the apartment and wait for them to finish going through it. Ah, home sweet home again, such that it is. And before you say anything, I don't feel the need to talk over the events of the day. Too much has happened. I've already forwarded everything we rooted out to Tomcat, both Hayden's research and our aborted search into the modified mesh articles. They said they would be over in the morning to discuss our next steps. I'd suggest that we both get some rest. Perhaps things will look better in the morning, but I have a feeling we're going to be even busier than ever. Good night.